And welcome back to Empire Radio. This is the Professionals Roundtable, and I'm your host, Rick Delgado. And again, we're welcoming back one of my favorite guests. She's a lot of fun to talk to. She's based out of Beverly Hills, California. She's the founder and clinical hypnotherapist for Let It Go Hypnosis. LetItGoHypnosis.com is the website, or you can give her a call, 323-999-4775. She's also created the Scheidegger approach. So make sure you give her a round of applause for Barbara Scheidegger. Barbara, welcome back to the show, and how are you?
Thank you for the nice introduction. I'm blushing.
Well, you know what? You've got a nice resume, I should say.
Thank you.
And it seems like, the stuff that you do really does help people. We did have that client of yours that was on a couple weeks ago,
Yes.
who came on to the show. I forget her name.
Clarice.
Yeah. Who experienced some great results from working with you, doing the Scheidegger approach, and also how you taught her how to do it herself.
Yes, that's a very important. It's very important to know how to do your own self hypnosis. It's we get caught up in life so easy today with the emails. We have to do this, we have to do that. And we don't take time for ourselves.
Right.
We truly start believing that we can't. And through my approach, I show people that the hypnotherapy actually is healthy, it's safe, it's natural, and you can do it on your own just to become, I would say, to use your old tools that have been always there,
right,
and find clarity for what you're living for and for actually what you want.
Yeah.
That's my approach, and that's what Clarice did. She did it with repetition and clarity, and she found her focus. And you get what you focus on. And
right.
Let me tell you a story about myself.
Yeah, definitely.
The way I learned what you get, what you focus on. In a hard, funny way, actually. I had to buy a car. I live in Southern California.
Right.
So beautiful weather. I wanted a convertible.
Don't we all, Barbara?
Yeah. and I called my friend and told him, look, I want a convertible. Can you help me? He said, sure. What do you want? I said, you know what, it's probably better if I tell you what I don't want. I don't want a red car. I don't want a Mercedes. I don't want a black interior. I don't want 2 doors. And he said, okay. He called me back and said, go to that dealership. They have many, many different brands. Just go and take a look. There will be your perfect car.
Right.
I walk into the dealership, look around, and see my car. I walk up to the car and said, this is my car. And my friend looked at me and said, what do you mean? I said, that's the one I want. I said, well, it's a red Mercedes with black interior and 2 doors. Look at other cars. I walked around and then I came back. This is the car I want. And I bought it because I focused on what I didn't want. It was in my picture what I didn't want. I imagined what I didn't want. And I got it. I drove it around for a little while and sold it again. So, nothing against Mercedes, nothing against red. It's just I didn't want to be. Be seen on the freeway in a red car or
right.
Pop up. Oh, she has a red car. I'm more a quiet person in that matter.
But for some reason you were drawn to the car because that's what you were thinking about.
Exactly, and that's what happens. So with my Scheidegger approach, I give people the tools what they actually always had in themselves. I guide them through to find them, to see what they want and what they can focus on.
Right.
And the guidance through that is natural, is healthy. And we're looking for health today anyway. You want organic milk, you want organic fruit, you want organic salad. So this is organic.
Right.
And it's within you.
Well, it's funny what you say about the car story, because it's something that, first off, I got to ask, how long ago was this? Was this before you started with hypnotherapy?
Yes,
Okay.
Almost 7 years ago.
Right. So you were probably like, looking back at it now, is like, oh my goodness, here's an example of what, how powerful the mind was in the reverse of what I actually wanted.
Yes, exactly.
And that's something that you can impart on, anybody, including the listening audience, that let's face it, what you think about, you bring about. Right, Barbara?
Oh, that's a good saying. I like that. I'm going to use this.
Yeah. Believe me, it's not mine. I wish it was mine. But it definitely lends credence to that, because it reminded me of a story of a baseball pitcher. I forget who it was, and it was just a story that was relayed, talking about the power of the mind and suggestion and putting thoughts into your head. And this particular batter came up and was known for hitting high fastballs. Don't pitch to him like that. So the coach comes out. He calls for a conference on the mound. And he tells the pitcher, whatever you do, don't throw this guy a high fastball. Walks back to the dugout. Next pitch, high fastball, home run. And it was one of those things where the pitcher afterwards complains, like, I wasn't even thinking of throwing that pitch until he put it into my mind of high fastball, and that's all that he focused on.
Yes, I'm a big believer in it, and I learned it myself. I spent money on it.
Yeah, you spent money on it, and then probably had to take a loss on trying to sell the car.
Yeah, absolutely. But I've learned from that, and during my studies, it really raised a red flag in me, and I've learned to focus what I want. If you focus on problems, you will find them.
Right.
They're there.
Yeah.
It's just what it is.
Right, but if you focus on solutions, you'll find those too.
Oh, absolutely, and this is the process of what I'm doing in the Scheidegger approach. I have different tools for different people. I studied Reiki, I studied neuro-linguistic programming, hypnotherapy, of course. I took some seminars with Tony Robbins, but I combined my own, which to me, it's I have to say, it became powerful, and it helps people.
Right.
And in 21 days, to learn through repetition and finding the clarity what they want and what they can let go, what they always thought these steps are so high, I never can take them. And once you're in front of these steps, you know, oh, these are little ones, I can take them.
Yeah.
Absolutely no problem.
Yeah.
You make your problem as big as you want to have it. So.
Yeah, and if you focus on the positive, you put your head down, all of a sudden you look up, you're like, hey, I wasn't sure that I could do that, and look at that, I did it without even thinking about it.
Yeah.
Without letting it be a block.
Yeah, and that's where I bring people to. I guide them through that they can look up and say, wow, I always thought I wouldn't be able to do that, but now I can.
Right.
And that's what we have to start saying to ourselves already. Yes, I can. And even if you regress a little bit during the process, it doesn't matter. You just jump back on again. It's not, oh my God, now I smoked a cigarette. Then it's okay.
Right.
Let it go. Jump back on it again. Look forward. Look to your world without cigarettes, or with 10 pounds less, and running a marathon that was always your dream. We have to see it. It's imagination. It's visualization. And at the same time, it's the feeling and the emotions that are within you. You have to, so you can bring them up and bring the good, instead of always falling back into the negative and regrets, because then it becomes again the for me syndrome. For me.
Right, and that's that negative feeling, like, oh, the world is coming down. Why is everything so negative? Why does this always happen to me? That's a good thing you hear people say. But yeah. In terms of the Scheidegger approach, how do your methods help people deal with that stuff, in terms of, like you said, they may fall off the wagon for a little bit. Do you work with them and say, hey, you know what, let's do a little recharge kind of thing and get you back on track?
Yes, we go through the process. And how did you feel when you fell back, and what can be done? What can be done, and not you shouldn't have done that. We just now you have this. I don't want to know why you're there, but what can we do to move on? What's the solution now to move on?
Right.
And in my approach, they can call me anytime, and we can fix it immediately by I'm talking to them, or if they're in a quiet place, and they can sit down. I make a small, I put them through a hypnotic state real quick, so they can reboost again and come up until all of this through repetition, daily repetition. We're going to do this together until it becomes an unconscious habit of feeling good.
Yeah, and I think that's probably the biggest benefit when you can get them to that point where it's unconscious. Yeah. They don't have to think about it anymore.
Yeah, exactly. And that's in any case, our habits are unconscious. That's why we can't explain. Sometimes I did that, I never wanted to do it, but somehow I did that. It's unconscious. We do 88% of our life unconsciously and 12% consciously. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
How much we can change in the unconscious mind to the positive? Because it's just there quietly and does what it does. And the nice thing is always what you have learned, you can unlearn. And you can let it go and put new things in there. And it's like I said, I always say, we are like computers. We can remove a file, but we replace a file with the new things. And that's what we have to do with computers. All the time we have to update them. And we have to do that too. Yeah. We just not stand still.
Exactly, because when you stand still, that's when you fall into those bad habits again.
Yeah. Exactly, and the habits and the routines that your brain is not any more excited for new things. It's just that's what we do, and everything just gets so tired inside. And then you start with the problems. Poor me, and I feel so bad, and I can't get up. Yeah, because you're not doing anything. You don't change anything in your life. Yeah, and the power is within you.
Right, but you expect to feel better, but you're not doing anything to help that. Again, we're talking to Barbara Scheidegger. She is the founder and, of course, clinical hypnotherapist for Let It Go Hypnosis. She created the Scheidegger approach. It's a 21-day step program that can get you living the life that you always wanted to. Give her a call at 323-999-4775 or go to the website letitgohypnosis.com. I hear a lot about athletes in terms of, turning to, they're always looking for an edge, Barbara. They're always looking to up their game, get to that next level, which is very important. I want to touch on that when we get back, and also a question that I had for myself, if you don't mind.
No, go ahead.
All right, great. So we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll be talking more with Barbara Scheidegger from Let It Go Hypnosis right after these words on Empire Radio. And welcome back to Empire Radio. This is the Professionals Roundtable, and I'm sitting with one of our favorite guests, Barbara Scheidegger. She's based out of Beverly Hills, California. She no longer drives a red convertible with black interior and 2 doors. She is the founder and clinical hypnotherapist for Let It Go Hypnosis and the creator of the Scheidegger approach. How about a nice round of applause for our guest, Barbara Scheidegger. Again, Barbara, thank you so much for spending time with us today.
Yes. Pleasure.
Hey! Now, before we went to break, I wanted to ask you about how hypnotherapy can help athletes, because let's face it, a lot of athletes, no matter what level they're on, you see it in high school kids wanting to get to that next level. Maybe they're striving for a scholarship. Maybe there's someone that's thinks they can go into a professional athlete, or you have professional athletes too that are always looking to keep their game and find that new level. How does hypnotherapy work for athletes?
It's a great tool to move them forward, to help to deal with sometimes, the disappointment they get or they didn't win immediately. Mm-hmm. It's all these athletes, they have coaches. They guide them through with their plan, with their minds. The coaches go in and tell them how it works, how we play, in this situation, in that situation, that's what we do. That's
Right.
the way you have to run. That's the way you have to do it. But inside that kid or that adult or athlete, it's deep inside first still, well, that's not the way I played before.
Right.
I did it differently, and that's as a kid, I threw the ball like this, now you're telling me like this. And they go and train, but with the mind, and nothing is done with the unconscious mind. So they think about it when they play, but when a problem comes up or a situation that's not 100% in that plan, they fall back in the old pattern, in the old habit. They slide in, and they do exactly what they shouldn't have done.
Right.
And through hypnotherapy, we can make change. With working with the coach even together, we can make that change in that person's life to go in and change that pattern, that the old pattern is released and the new plan, the new pattern goes in and becomes a habit. During a game, especially in team games, they expect the unexpected.
Right.
It's what it is. The head player doesn't play. So what do we do? Somebody has to replace it. And then the thought goes always, okay, he's not here. Now we're playing like this.
Right.
Like this, and this. And they know exactly what they have to do. But when anxiety comes in, stress, something unexpected, they fall into their old habits. And that's when the trouble starts. And if they fall back in that habit, they get stuck in it. Oh my God, I did this. Through hypnotherapy, even if they would have a little step back there, it will release from the unconscious mind to the mind that, no, we have to change that immediately. And the game goes on exactly the way it should be.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost what you see like in an NFL quarterback. If all of a sudden, they're not getting that blocking and that time that they need, they start moving around and start just, maybe throwing the ball where they shouldn't be, even though they know they're not supposed to be doing it. But yeah, they fall back into that pattern. It's like, I just got to get rid of this. And all of a sudden it changes the entire tempo of the game because they fell into the bad pattern of just scrambling and trying to get rid of the ball as opposed to, just take the loss and come back at it again.
Exactly. And especially in teams. And you know that actually I can do, or hypnotherapists can do, a group hypnosis, that everybody is affected by it and can make changes. That I had groups for 12 or 20 people. I put them in, and everybody has their own experience, and they can make their change. And especially in teams, the suggestion I put in would be for everyone in that team to make it a plan for all and make the change, because everyone takes information in differently and processes it differently.
Right.
And in hypnosis, even if it's a group, everybody will take it in on their own and takes time and can change on their own what has to be changed. And I truly think, and look, this is my belief, if the Lakers, I'm in LA, so the Lakers, would have had a hypnotherapist, somebody who would have worked with the team, with the coach, fantastic, but we're talking about a mind coach and not a unconscious mind coach, and that's what I would be. If we would have worked together, the outcome would be different today. I'm a big believer of that.
And it sounds like you're a Lakers fan.
Yeah.
Hey, Barbara, let me ask you this. Have you worked with many athletes?
I had some golf people with golf problems.
You know what I found interesting of what you said earlier too was the disappointment part, because a lot of these top level athletes, they get to a situation where they came from a winning program when they were growing up. They went to a winning program in college. Then they get to the pros, and all of a sudden, winning's not that easy anymore.
No.
So you like you said about the disappointment of losing. That's got to be something that's really that can really mess with somebody mentally.
Yes, and it's it's not what you have to learn. You cannot always win, but you can be the best of who you are. And in a winning situation, don't go too high. I won on the hero. Go high, but in a regular feeling. And even if you lose, don't go too deep and get stuck there. Bring yourself up again. And that's what you learn through hypnotherapy. That you can balance it out. Even if you win, you're a hero, but it's okay. Come down again to the same level. You lose, you're down. Come up again to the same level. And you know who is the best example for that? Roger Federer.
Really?
Yeah. This man, I mean, he's not in a team. He's a tennis player.
Right.
But how many times he didn't win? But he always came back and cut up and had his level of being calm, understanding that you cannot lose. I win always. Sometimes you lose, but he came always back and took his calm back, and he's big on that. The way he plays, he brings it up to a conscious level and says, "This is who I am. Yes, I can't be always a hero, and I will accept that, but I will be always at the same level of my life, and not let this game bringing me down to a level that I can't come up anymore."
Right, and it was just maybe I think 2 years ago where people were like, okay, Roger's on his last legs. He's pretty much, he's not going to be winning anymore, and he just won at Wimbledon again. So that's definitely the power of the mind at work there. Hey, real quick, Barbara, before we end today, I did have a personal question regarding hypnosis, if you don't mind, because we were just talking about athletes. I'm still athletic, even though I'm in the advanced age of over 40. But I still compete. I'm a bicycle racer.
Nice.
Is there anything that you could share with me that I can kind of maybe work on myself? Because there are sometimes I feel like the race gets away from me, and I just kind of feel like I'm tightening up, kind of thing.
Yeah, the race doesn't go away from you. You go away from the race because you have your outside world telling you you're getting too old.
Right.
You believe in that. It's what you have to understand that the people behind you are becoming faster probably, but it has nothing to do with you. It has to do how you train yourself and say, I be the best I can be, and I'm going to do that as long as my body allows me to do that.
Right.
No matter what the outcome is. As long as you train and train your mind, you're giving your best shot, and you're going in and you're listening to your body, what the body's telling you. You just go on and say, I can do it. I'll be the best I am. Right. And that's all you can do.
Yeah, because sometimes I do feel like, in the middle of a race, I might start thinking, do I really need to keep doing this? I mean, everybody that's coming in is a little younger and a little faster, it seems like, and it's getting harder and harder to keep up sometimes,
Well, the question is, you don't need to. Is this something you want?
Right.
If you make that clear, you do it just for yourself. You want to still race for your fun, for your health and for your sanity. That's what you need. You go on until you're 100. You don't need it. You want it.
Right. All right, that's a good piece of advice to keep in mind. Again, we're talking to Barbara Scheidegger. She is the founder and clinical hypnotherapist for Let It Go Hypnosis. You can go to the website, letitgohypnosis.com. You can also click on the link to make a change, a 30-minute consultation. She offers a free 30-minute consultation. All you got to do is reach out to her either through the website or give her a call, 323-999-4775, and find out how the 21-day program can pretty much change your life. Again, Barbara, thank you so much for spending some time with us. We appreciate it.
Thank you for listening to me.
You're very welcome.